This is Your Other Brothers Podcast.
Sorta. What's up, homies? And welcome to the ConvoCast. I am Tom, and I am your host, the editor, co-founder of Your Other Brothers. We're a community navigating faith, homosexuality, masculinity, and the thing we've come to love and adore, the coronavirus, together. And I'm excited. This is a special week because not only is it the final week of this Corona ConvoCast, we're going out with a bang, you guys. We're closing this this endeavor out with a Baranowski double shot because we just had Nate. And now welcome back to the program, our other brother, Jacob. What's up, Jacob?
Hey, Tom. Saving the best Baranowski for last does make the most sense. So
Absolutely.
Toss that out there all casual.
You know, Nate and I were joking on the episode. Actually, it wasn't on the episode. It was like in the pre-recording banter as we were setting up, that it would be an interesting ConvoCast because the rule of the ConvoCast is that it's one-on-one. It's two people. Because he was saying it would be fun if the three of us did a podcast, and I was like, no, that's not allowed. That's not the rules. But he made an interesting point because what we could do, which I'm potentially open to, is if it was the three of us in a virtual room together, but maintaining the rules of one-on-one, it would be like Nate and I talking to each other, and then you and me talking to each other, potentially you two talking to each other, but like never two people at the same time.
What?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense, Tom.
It could.
Is there ever a time where there are three of us on an episode and all of us talk at the same time, and so it's not just a one-on-one?
No, but you say something talking, and then the other two people can respond to it, but that wouldn't be allowed. It would just be like, I'm only talking to you. Okay, if you want me to relay a message to the other person, then tell me, and then I'll tell that person. Yeah.
Interesting. So, well, that sounds like utter nonsense, but sure.
I think
we can work on that for the next.
If the coronavirus is still plaguing us in November, then maybe we'll
why don't you save that for the next global pandemic, and then bring out that little
whatever the next thing
later.
Forces us inside. Whatever the next day after tomorrow scenario arises, then we'll do that. How are you doing, brother? First thing that I have to get right out of the open is I'm looking at you visually, which sadly our listeners can't do, but you have gone the route of your big brother and taken to his haircut leanings. Can you tell us about what's going on with you?
Of course. So as is true of all of the Baranowski men, we have been cursed with follicle deficiency as we age. I know that it's always been a thing that I've heard, that you're like supposed to inherit the hair genes of your mother's father.
Right.
My grandpa had a full head of hair till he passed away. So that's all just
not true,
because that is not the case.
Because you look in the mirror and you're like, what gives, granddad?
Yes. So it's it's been known to me for the past several years that eventually I'm gonna have to go with the like mostly shaved head look. And so I decided that during this quarantine time where I can't go get my haircut anyway, that I would try out the whole buzzed look and kind of get
you went the buzzed route.
Yes, and kind of get a glimpse into my future self of like I need to kind of like, as time goes by, get more and more used to the fact that I'm going to be bald eventually, so let's kind of take like baby steps to the end of the road for me. So this is step one. And
baby
it's
steps
not horrible.
Into eternity.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
No, it looks good. And
Thanks.
it's just
thank you.
It's strange because I've never seen your hair that short.
Have you ever? I haven't
as a kid. Did
you
ever like have buzzed hair?
No, this is the first buzz cut of my life. Wow. So 29 years. This is my first ever buzz.
Okay.
I actually kind of chose to do it on a whim. Like I wasn't wasn't planning on it, but I was like, why not now? And I paced around in my bathroom for about 5 minutes holding the clippers, trying to build up the courage just
I
to
can close
do
my
it.
eyes and see it now. Just see you
Oh, there was,
pacing
yeah, I was
furiously
okay,
back and
okay,
forth,
come on,
like a
breathe,
tiger trapped
breathe.
in his
Yep,
cage.
yep. So I did,
But then you
and
did it.
I don't hate it, and it makes me just, yeah, feel
That's good.
a lot better about my follicle future.
Suddenly, the future is a little
I
brighter.
know you wouldn't understand, Tom, because you have the thick, luscious locks of a much younger man. That
My mother's father had a great head.
yeah, that's wives' tale.
Thanks, granddad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I've buzzed my hair, I think I want to say 3 times. The first time was in 8th grade, and it was extremely disorienting and a little embarrassing at first because I just wanted to be different. It was
Oh,
my first foray into my fourness. So I was like,
mm,
I need to be different.
yes.
And so, yeah, I buzzed it. And it wasn't like people didn't make fun of me or anything. I just felt extremely self conscious because, like, all of a sudden, this like thing that was previously on my face is no longer not face, but well, I guess partly. Bangs are on your
Sure.
face,
I don't think anyone
but
calls it the hair on your head being on your face, but sure.
the
No,
hair on
please.
my face, unless
Yes.
it's your beard or mustache or
Mm,
sideburns or what
mm,
have you.
yeah.
But no, it just felt like I was more exposed than I ever
Mm,
had been physically speaking. So yeah, wasn't a fan of it. Didn't try it again until like when I was an adult. Like gosh, when was that? 5 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And it was just so hot. I was just over it. I was on a little mini road trip and was in South Carolina at the time, living on the road, and just used my own clippers. What are they called?
yeah.
Razor
Yeah. Yeah. Clippers is
clippers?
the thing.
Yeah, use my own clippers, cut it all off myself. And again, disconcerting. However, a little more attractive to me as an adult. It just
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was more aesthetically pleasing with it being so hot out. Um, and then I did it again a couple years ago, actually, just before our first Yobbers retreat. I had my head
Yeah.
buzzed
Yeah.
pretty close.
I remember that.
And I feel like, because the reason I was so insecure about it as an 8th grader, and a little bit the second time too, though not nearly as much, I think it was because I feel like I have such a bulbous head. And so when you take away the hair, it really accentuates the size of your head, especially when you then compare it to what's underneath, which
Sure.
is the rest of your body. And when I was an 8th grader, and even 5 years ago, I feel like I'm just pretty scrawny and
Mm.
not really don't have a lot of bulk on me. And thanks to CrossFit for the last year of my life, I feel way more confident about the rest of my body. So I think the buzzed hair
Mm.
look I could pull off with more confidence now than ever before. I just feel like my body
Mm-hmm.
would be it would all be more proportional from head to toe. That being said, though, a lot of people are shaving their heads right now because there's no haircut option. So it's like all or nothing. Either you let it grow or you just
Mm-hmm.
cut it all off. And
Yep.
I'm very much inclined right now to just keep letting it grow until the heat becomes suffocating. But I'm hoping by then barbershops will be back open anyway. So we'll see.
Mm. I have so many things that popped into my head while you were saying
Please
that.
be
One
brief
being like,
because we have to keep this
I
conversation.
will brief.
Okay, go.
One is that I really don't know if it's possible for us to have a conversation in which CrossFit is not mentioned. So that
I
just
know.
makes
I
a lot of
didn't think it
sense.
would happen. I thought about
No,
it.
I know it's
But
fine.
it just
It's fine.
happened. I'm sorry.
But I think no, but you were right. Is that like having I too think that now I have probably more muscle mass than I ever have, and so that does help. I think too, it makes a big difference if you're doing uh, the buzzed or completely shaved look, and you have facial hair. I think that just helps a
Yeah.
lot with the whole look.
Yeah, it just
I don't know
adds
why or
it
what
adds
how that all works,
dimension,
but
it adds texture,
yeah,
proportionality. Yeah,
yes.
there's
So
a
I am
scientific reason to it for sure.
indeed. I am very thankful for the beard that I possess. That even though I may not be able to grow hair out of the top of my head, great, I can grow it
I was gonna
out
say,
of my
like,
jaw fairly well. So,
you can grow an amazing beard. It's crazy that the
oh,
hair
thanks.
follicles don't just move like
Right?
literally
Well,
8 inches north. That's it. That's crazy.
alas,
Alas, yeah, yeah,
alas.
yeah. No, super jealous of the Baranowski beard genes that
Oh,
apparently
thank you.
exist between you and your brother. But oh
Yeah,
well.
thank you, Gary, for that.
he gave you something.
He did.
Nothing else.
He did. It's just not here on the top of our heads. That's fine.
Well, Jacob, I wanted to give a big shout out to you because I think I've mentioned it. I mean, again, the ConvoCast in real life, they all bleed together for me. So I don't know. Maybe I haven't mentioned this, but I've mentioned on the show. I know I mentioned on the show with your brother, our last episode, that I've had trouble sleeping during this quarantine for whatever reason. I don't know, conscious or unconscious. Like I've just had really a hard time getting to sleep on time and waking up on time. And it just feels like my whole days and rhythms have been thrown off by this whole thing. But I mentioned that to you, and you responded with a beautiful, lovely care package for me filled with all kinds of goodies. But the thing I needed to just like really thank you for, and I've become a lifelong now
in like a week
proponent of this product. It's the Ollie brand of gummies. They're like sleep aid, sleep time, blackberry gummies. And I've been taking these for like almost a week now before bed. And I don't know if it's just like, what are those like science things where it's like you take something but it doesn't really do anything? What are those things called?
That is called a placebo. Tom.
Placebo, yeah. So I don't know if this is just a placebo and I think it's doing something because I recently switched to morning Vita gummies, and it's like such a fun part of my morning. Like I get to chew a gummy like it's candy, but it's vitamins.
Love it.
And so now I'm doing the same thing for nighttime. So I don't know if it's just me being really excited to think that this is working, and then therefore I'm tricking myself into thinking that it's working. But for the last week of my life, I have had the best sleep in recent memory by far, like for months and months now. And I just thank you and love you and appreciate you. And
you're welcome.
I expect now a monthly subscription of Ollie from you, but I guess I'll have to go. I'll buy it myself. Absolutely. But
I mean, I think they should carry them at places at like super high end places like Walmart, I believe, stocks them. Right. So I know it's a difficult thing to find, but
the local establishments to get the Ollie. You had mentioned that it was Anthony's, like one of Anthony's favorite things, which I had no idea. I'd never heard of this product. And then when you mentioned that to me, I Googled the product, and like I guess he's done commercials or something, or social networking ads or something. But all I saw was Anthony. So Anthony is from Queer Eye. Many would say the most attractive one on Queer Eye. That's up to debate for some people. But the right people, the not right people. But but I just saw a still image of him like presumably naked, maybe half naked in a bubble bath, and just like chewing these gummies with like the big contented smile on his face. And that is the essence of how I feel when I take these, because I take them, I go take a shower and like brush my teeth and everything, wind down, do a little bit of reading, and then it says to take 30 minutes before bed. So by the time I do all that, like my eyes are closing and I'm just drifting off. And last night I slept just like 8 hours straight, didn't wake up once. Like what is this? Amazing.
I love it. It is. Yeah. It's weird to think that a product that is connected to Anthony would somehow magically be more effective for you. That is, I don't know like how that all works, but that's an excellent thing. He had posted a video on YouTube. I think it's been a year or so of like, there was a trend of kind of doing like your top 10 must-have need things. I don't know, and it's called something that sounds better than what I just uttered.
Have need things. That's fine.
Yeah, yep. And that was on his list. So that was how I heard of it. I actually tried them too. I didn't find them to be effective for me.
Really?
And so I am just very thankful that they have worked wonders. And what is great about this is that even if the effect is entirely placebotic,
yeah,
is that a really word?
No.
It doesn't matter. Even if that's the case, it doesn't really matter, because as long as you're actually sleeping better, who cares if it is because of what's in it or because it's all in your head? Like,
if nothing else, they taste wonderful. They fill me with like a childish giddiness that I've not felt in years. And if nothing else, that's what's going to get me through.
I just think it's wonderful image that you now will start and end your day
with gummies.
with gummies. That's a beautiful thought.
And the
that
thought
it's gonna
that this
help
isn't just
me
a
sleep better.
phase, that this is going to be the rest of my life.
This is your new,
This is it. This is
it.
how it begins and ends.
Mm.
I mean, with presumably also with the Lord, like with prayer, with scripture, with that bookending my days as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah, because
gummies too.
men cannot live by gummies alone. So
I'll keep that in mind.
that's
wise
biblical.
words.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, in our remaining minutes, did you have anything that you wanted to talk about today?
Yeah. So this is something that I wanted to start talking about in our like pre-show time that you quickly were like, no, save it for the cast.
I like to have
So
those organic conversations. Tell me again.
Bring them now. You and I in the past several years have had problems with technology in the sense that we will send one another texts that at times never arrive. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it might just be this has only happened of texts that I send to you that you just never get. And then I'll send some like follow-up thing and
I have no idea.
I'm really confused because you did not get what I sent to you. There's a good argument to be made that this is probably some kind of weird like Android to iPhone conversion factor.
Great.
Which, oh my goodness, no. But anyway, it sort of has this like we've caught it now a good like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
But I have, as this has happened recently, I had this sort of like sinking feeling of like, have there been miscommunications that you and I have had in the past that we don't even know about because one of us sent something to the other person that they never got? So like, I'm thinking of these like unresolved, deep, bitter, angry feelings that one of us is feeling because we didn't get something that we sent to one another.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you read the stat that we're going to eat 8 spiders in our lifetime or something. We brought it up on one of the most recent podcasts.
Yeah.
Like if we've already missed 4 or 5 texts that we've caught, like of course there have been other texts that haven't gone through. Like it's guaranteed. It's a guarantee basically. And so yes, then the question becomes, what have been the consequences of that? Because your deficient Android couldn't send the message to my iPhone. Because I will say, just to be fair, I will say there's never been a time where I texted you and then had to send a follow-up text saying, hey, do you have an answer to that? Like I've never had that happen. Whereas you have had that, you've had to follow up with me multiple times about that. So I just think typically it's your fault.
It's my fault.
But it makes it does make me wonder what has happened for a text that just never went answered. What's been the fallout from that?
Yeah, it makes me question if like our friendship is even real. Like, is it built on truth, or is it false because there are things that I didn't say that you've never heard? Isn't there a song that goes something kind of like that, like the words I've never said that you've never heard? Okay, it doesn't matter.
Probably.
But also, how would you know that if you've sent me things that I've not gotten and I just didn't respond? You don't know that.
I mean, I don't entirely know, but
have you speaking of this topic, have you had issues when you are in group chats with sort of the mixed denominations,
mixed orientations?
A mixed orientation group chat, an MMG,
MSG,
you know, MSGNO, LMNOP.
And then what happens in a group text? Like,
so
things don't go through,
it's been a thing. It's been a thing to where like I will be on a group chat with other Apple folks, and there seems to be a link to when gifts are sent to where then I'm no longer able to send things. Like my text will not send to the group. They can keep talking to one another, and then like half an hour later, I will get all of them at once. And
I've never had that happen. Again, that's probably an Android thing, but I've never experienced that, so I can't speak to that phenomenon.
It's just weird because isn't like there are like huge percentage more of Apple users than there are Android users, right? Am I crazy in thinking like those are sort of like equal opportunity phone
I
maker.
don't know. I'd be
that are-
curious to know what the stats are.
Where are the stats? And then people give me such a hard time for not having an iPhone, and I'm a unique, special snowflake, and
Okay,
I
4.
like I like my Android.
No,
I am going to
you
4
do you.
in I am in growth, so I'm becoming more
You do go to
4-ish.
4 in health, which is a beautiful
Exactly.
thing. When a
See?
2 blossoms into a 4,
Blossoms into a 4.
it's a beautiful rainy day in Seattle. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope our friendship can be salvaged through this.
Same. I do
We
too,
play
but
it day by day. The
we do.
gummies really helps. The gummies is a great touch. So thank you for that.
Mhm.
I appreciate it a lot.
You are so welcome, Tom. Tom, do you have anything that's been on your mind, heart, soul, body that you would like to bring up?
Let's see. Well, with my body, I was telling your brother that the last couple weeks of my life have been pretty horrendous. The worst physical health I have been in my entire life, which
Yeah.
is still expressing a lot of gratitude, because that being said, like no time in a hospital, no surgeries, no, yeah, just like nothing significant, but allergies out of control more than they ever were,
Mm.
to the point of just like aches and pains, like not even being able to like move around, like staying inside of my apartment for days at a time, because I physically could not like put one foot in front of the other, because I just felt so trapped in my body. So that being said, again, with the gummies, with the sleep, with a lot of allergy medication, a lot of water consumed, like I'm starting to feel better. Not 100% quite yet, but definitely further along than I've been in the last couple of weeks. So that's the big praise reports right now, as I feel like I'm coming out on the other side of this, and just grateful for the prospect of things opening again. Like we're getting a lot of news now that like things might be slowly starting to reopen, and yeah, I'm excited. So I'm excited to see what the month of May brings. Any news in your neck of the woods as far as like openings or?
Yeah, so in Indiana, they just ended they have begun to open things up beginning on Friday. That was the end of the official shelter in place order, and then over the next few weeks, there's like different phases of how they're trying to open up things. It is still recommended that if your business can function by working remotely, they're asking people to do that. So I am still working from home for I would guess probably until the end of May, but we're kind of just taking it week by week. But that is the part that is nice about being in the computer software world, is that typically our jobs and our work are pretty easy to do from anywhere. So
Yeah.
just kind of plugging along. It'd be nice. I think like yes, it'd be. I'm looking forward to like kind of like things being opened back up again, but more so I'm just like I miss seeing friends. Like I have
Wait,
like
friend, what's this word you
I know
use?
it is friends.
Friends?
I have a lot of pent up hospitality energy that has nowhere to go.
I thought you were about to say
I was
pent
gonna
up hostility.
yeah, I also have a lot of that too, but that's a different issue because I don't actually handle handle
That's when
handle
you
anger well.
that's when you regress to 8, but
To an angry
you're a
8. Yep.
blossoming
Yep.
4, so.
Absolutely. So I've got like 20 meals that I want to now make for people. I'm going to be like hosting parties every other night because
Mhm.
I am ready for it. Come on over to
You are ready to serve. You're
I
gonna
am
be a
ready.
Martha on steroids.
Woo!
Or Mary, who was it?
The ultimate too. I never
Who's the
remember.
one that overworked?
I
Was it
think
Mary or Martha? I always confuse those 2.
I think Martha's the working one. The one who's doing the right thing. I mean, that's not the point of that story. Never mind.
I wanted to share with you that one of our listeners reached out, and because they listened to our previous ConvoCast where you rattled off like 20 meals that you had
Mm.
made, because we talked about cooking last time you and I conversed on this here ConvoCast.
Yep.
And he just flatly said, "Wow, I just felt I felt like a loser. I felt like I can't compare to this guy. Like he's so
Aw.
much better than me and all of us. So.
No, listener.
To which I
Sweet,
replied,
sweet,
yes.
sweet listener.
I agree. Me too.
You
But
are
that's
not.
okay.
You are not
Jacob
a
just has a
loser.
hospitality like no other, and it's a precious gift from the Lord, and we're grateful
Aw.
for it. So
Well, thank you, Tom. I also, I don't. The point is not to make anyone else feel bad. Everyone has their own way of coping with this weird time in human history, and that just happens to be mine. So
yeah, we all cope in our different ways.
we all cope in our own ways. Mine is mainly caloric, but yes. Also, I guess I don't. This doesn't need to be on this episode. I also wanted to thank a kind listener who I don't know who it is, who sent chocolate to
That's
me
right. Didn't
that
actually make
never
it.
made it to me. So if that person is listening, thank you.
Yes, that was a long saga behind the scenes. Jacob, I don't even remember the episode honestly because
I don't
we recorded
either.
so much. But Jacob apparently made a reference on a YOB-cast about wanting to receive chocolate from either me or from somebody, because we talk a lot about Grubhub and mailing things. So I think it made sense. It sounded familiar. I couldn't quite trace it, but yeah, apparently this one of our listeners wanted to then send you some chocolate. To which, so it would have to come to me to the PO box because I'm not just going to give Jacob's address to everybody. So it would come to me here in Asheville, and then theoretically I would then forward that to Jacob. But the package, for whatever reason, whatever the spiritual forces were at play, the package did not make it to me, got returned to sender, and thus Indiana never got that box of chocolates. So I'm sorry. But the
However,
sentiment is there.
It's true. It's true. However, I do know how much you enjoy chocolate, Tom. So we really only have your word that the package, quote unquote, did not make it to you.
I don't know what happened.
So I'm just saying that
What
kind of
happened
like
to the
how
chocolate?
how some texts are sent that don't quite make it to us. Some
Yeah.
chocolate
No,
gets.
I will put this out there to the universe. If anyone's listening and wants to send Jacob some chocolate, Jacob, do you have a favorite chocolate?
I am a huge Lint fan.
Lint?
I don't ever know how to say it because it's Lindt. So do you
Oh,
do
I've
you
never
say
heard
the
of that.
D or do you just say, is it Lindent? Lint?
Linda.
I think it's Swiss. So in
Okay.
whatever language they speak in Switzerland.
I'm sure we've got some twos listening who just are jumping at the chance to serve and do something wonderful. So if you know what this lint chocolate is, I've never heard of it, but apparently it's Swiss. Apparently it's great. Apparently Jacob loves it. You can find our PO box. It's PO Box 843, Asheville, North Carolina, 28802. Send it to me, and then I will send it to Jacob.
Maybe.
And then we'll talk about it on a future ConvoCast or maybe a YOB-cast ?
I would love it. It would make my heart happier than you could even imagine. If
So
the result of this episode is that I get sent 50 pounds worth of chocolate, that would be incredible.
Put it out there.
World, universe,
you never
bring
know
it
what's
on.
gonna happen.
I'm ready.
So if you want to do that, please do. If you want to check out what we're doing at Your Other Brothers, go to yourotherbrothers.com. You can find not only our contact information and our PO box, you can also find all of our blogs and podcasts there. And follow us on all the social media at Your Other Bros. We always love a good follow. And yeah, this has been great. I joked about YOB-cast ? Coming back. So even though I just need to set the record straight, even though this is the final week, and I've decided this is the final week of the Corona ConvoCast. Sad times, but doesn't mean the ConvoCast is going away forever. It will return in some context. It'll just be the ConvoCast. It won't be prefaced by this nasty, awful thing that's consumed the planet for the last 3 months. So the ConvoCast, it'll be a thing that sticks around, just not as often and more sporadically. That being said, Your Other Brothers podcast, which Jacob is prominently featured on, will be returning eventually. I'm just waiting on a microphone to arrive. There's been incredible shipping delays. I have waited and waited. I've had to resubmit an order. So really, I'm just waiting for that because I'm using this B- microphone right now. And I really want the A+ audio quality for like an hour-long episode. That is what I prefer. So that's kind of what we're waiting on at this point. It's a big waiting game with the Postal Service and seeing where this goes. But hopefully by the end of the month. So the plan is we're going to go out with a bang tomorrow with our final Corona ConvoCast guest. You don't want to miss it. And then we'll take a little break and then hopefully be back with a new YOB-cast, which maybe Jacob will be on. We don't know what we're talking about yet, but we're trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We don't know if we're going to even do another YOB-cast.
Amen.
But we hope we will. We hope this microphone will arrive before the plague has consumed us all. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Remember, y'all, you are not alone. Even the sparrow stays at home. Keep staying at home until otherwise notified by your local authorities, but stay connected. And Jacob, thank you for convocating with me once again.
My pleasure, sir.
See y'all later.
Bye.